Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're diving into something pretty much all of us have tried, and let's be real, almost all of us have felt totally awkward doing. We're talking about those first deliberate thoughts you have when you wake up, morning affirmations. They're supposed to start your day right, but so often, instead of feeling empowered, you just end up feeling kind of foolish. Well, today, we're completely redefining this practice. We're going to break down exactly why standard affirmations fail and look at a much more effective method to shift you away from wishful thinking and into actual practical momentum. So let's jump right in.
So, looking at this quote, any tips for making morning affirmations feel less cheesy? I absolutely love this because it hits the nail on the head. It perfectly validates that skepticism we all feel. Just picture it. You're standing in front of your bathroom mirror, looking yourself dead in the eye, saying something like, "I am a vessel of unlimited wealth and flawless productivity." I mean, it feels fake, right? It's like playing a character in a really bad movie. That cringe factor is exactly what kills the habit before it even gets off the ground. Self-help gurus tell us to just keep repeating these grand statements until we magically believe them. But there is a massive disconnect between that expectation and our actual lived reality. When you wake up exhausted, stressed out about a deadline, telling yourself everything is perfect just feels, well, completely absurd.
And the really important thing to realize here is that this is a shared hurdle. Finding affirmations cheesy is not a personal failure. It doesn't mean you lack discipline, and it definitely doesn't mean you're just some inherently pessimistic person. It's a completely normal reaction. Honestly, human nature dictates that when a practice feels inauthentic, we're going to abandon it. We drop the routine, then we feel guilty for dropping it, which completely ruins the whole point of having a positive morning ritual anyway. So if you've ever rolled your eyes at your own reflection doing this, you are in excellent company. It's not you, it's the tool.
Which brings us to a much deeper question. Why exactly do affirmations feel like such a hurdle? We know they make us cringe, but let's look at the actual structural reason they fail. We really need to explore a somewhat contrarian view here. Is changing how we do this just a clever trick to make self-help feel less embarrassing, or does it actually change how our brains work? Like, why does saying "I am highly successful" when you're actually really struggling create such intense mental resistance? Well, it all comes down to the gap between the statement you're making and the reality your brain is currently experiencing. If that gap is too wide, your brain doesn't just ignore the statement, it actively fights against it.
The core problem is that standard affirmations act as what we can call jarring statements. They aren't just overly positive, they literally clash violently with our reality. If your reality is a mountain of stressful emails waiting for you, and your affirmation is, "My day is effortless and completely stress-free," your brain instantly spots the lie. It creates massive cognitive dissonance. It's jarring because you're forcing unearned positivity over a very valid, real state of being. That cognitive dissonance is exactly where that fake, cheesy feeling comes from. Your brain is essentially rejecting the software update because the code just doesn't match the hardware. You can't just overwrite how you feel with a jarring, absolute statement and expect your subconscious to buy it.
Now, let's look at this conceptual shift. On one side, you have the generic forced positivity of the jarring statement, like, "I am a master of time." On the other side, you have grounded, realistic framing and intention. Something like, "I intend to focus on my most important task for 1 hour today." You can literally feel the difference, right? So back to that contrarian thought, does this just sound better to avoid embarrassment, or is it doing something different mechanically? The truth is, it genuinely changes your cognitive process. A jarring statement demands that you believe a current falsehood. An intention? It doesn't ask you to pretend you're perfect. It just gives your brain a directional goal. It removes the pressure of faking a reality and replaces it with a practical target, honoring exactly where you are right now while pointing you to where you want to go. So let's move into the solution, intentions over affirmations. To actually make this practice work, you need to structure your intentions using 2 very specific steps. Step 1, make them personal. Step 2, make them actionable. Making them personal means ditching those generic copy and paste internet quotes. Your intention needs to directly address your specific challenges and goals for that specific day. Then comes step 2, which is where the real magic happens, making them actionable. This is the ultimate antidote to wishful thinking. A jarring statement says, "I will have a great day." An actionable intention says, "When I feel overwhelmed today, I will step away from my desk for 5 minutes and breathe." See how incredibly practical that is? You have total control over it. Now let's be completely honest here. Does doing this guarantee you'll have a flawless, perfect day? No, of course not. But it absolutely bridges the gap between just hoping things go well and actively designing your response to whatever challenges pop up. By making it personal and actionable, you completely bypass the cheesiness, because you aren't lying to yourself. You're just setting a solid game plan. Which brings us to a final thought for you. tomorrow morning, when you wake up, are you going to start with a jarring statement or a true intention? Are you going to stand there and try to forcefully overwrite your reality with generic positivity that just makes you cringe? Or will you take a moment, recognize exactly where you are, and set a personal, actionable intention that actually guides your behavior? Shifting from passive wishing to active framing transforms your morning routine from a cheesy chore into a genuinely powerful tool for navigating life.